Craig Jackson himself told me the only reason I own that truck is because he was giving an interview. Being in the car business kind of makes you a little numb sometimes. And it's weird. I get asked probably 20 times a week, what's your favorite car? Or what's your dream car? And me and a few of my buddies that are in the business, we talk about that a lot. Like, my next dream car is the next one I'm buying. Or, that's what I want next. I want that. And it's really hard to have personal cars anymore. I remember when I first started out, I had 3 or 4 cars that were my cars. And it was so funny that, you got this big warehouse full of cars and somebody goes, look, and he goes, well, those are my cars. Well, aren't all of them your cars? Obviously, you drive and enjoy what you sell. So naturally, they don't want to see me riding around in my cars. They want to see the cars that are for sale that can be had. So you're driving them. So what happens to your cars? They sit. And it took me a little while to get into this. I'm like, well, I don't want to sell my toys off. And I'm thinking, hell, they're all my toys. And I get new toys all the time. And I get people bugging me all the time, want to buy this or buy that and buy this. And I got one customer in particular. And this guy, I've sold him several cars, super cool guy, he'll come in town, we'll go grab lunch, he'll buy a car too, or he'll come down, we'll just grab lunch, shoot the bull for a little while, or go look at a property or go do this or whatever. I mean, he's a friend. And I sold him a few cars and he comes down and he goes, man, I love to have that GMC, or of course, my 72 GMC Sierra Grande that I bought at Barrett Jackson many years ago. And I've had it for a long time. It was all original when I got it. I lowered it, put big wheels on it, and I drove it, enjoyed it for a long time. And, it's a 1 of 50 truck, and it's the only documented 67 through 72 that's a documented 1 of 1 truck. They did all the research and everything they could do. So as far down as you can check, this is the only one, and they put it back just like day one. And of course, I get it and lowered, put big wheels on it. It's just kind of my MO. So this truck's always sitting in the back. And I'll be honest with you, the last time I took it out, there was a big Motor Trend indoor car show coming to town. And a local car builder who didn't have enough cars to put in his display calls me up. He goes, hey, Rob, can I borrow the dime piece? Because it's probably one of the nicest C10s in the Southeast. He goes, I'm sure I'll loan it to you. So I washed it and cleaned up. And that was the first time I drove that thing in 6 months. And the time before that, I drove it. When I say drove, I pulled it out of the building, moved some cars around, and backed it back in and put it back on a battery tender. I mean, it just sits. And, so it was at this indoor show, and everybody's oohing and ahhing. I drove it home and backed it right back in the warehouse, and it sat for another 6 months. Yep, great truck, drives out fine. It's immaculate, but I don't enjoy it, and it just sits. And, another thing, and I preach this to people, is the worst thing you can do with a collector car is let it sit. It's kind of like your old body. If you sit around for 6, 7 months, don't move, you're going to be stiff. You're going to have problems. You got to stay moving. Same way with that car. And I preach that to people all the time. I sell people cars to drive and enjoy. Here I am letting cars sit. And maybe I need to practice what I preach. So back to my buddy. And he's come in, and every time he comes in my warehouse, the first thing he says, I'm going to own that truck right there one day. And I said, well, you may, but not right now. And I always leave it at that. He'll throw a crazy number at it. I just don't want to sell it. He'll open the door on it. Look, I said, sit down in it. He goes, no, because I can't have it. So anyway, you get to thinking about things like that. Well, I sold him a really nice 67 Camaro convertible, red on red, black top, just super nice little car. And he gets it and does all the Pro Tour and stuff, changes a bunch of stuff under it, and big brakes and fuel injection and whatnot. He goes, man, I like that Camaro. He said, I like that Camaro, but I want something different. And I told him, I said, well, we can do a little trade. We got a few cars down here, so just come on down. And I guess he caught me at a weak moment. We're sitting there at my desk. He said, what's it going to take to buy that truck? So I put a price on it. First time I've ever done that. I put a price on that truck. He goes, man, that's high. And I said, well, let me tell you a story. I bought that truck at Barrett Jackson on a Thursday night before C10s were hot. Craig Jackson himself told me the only reason I own that truck is because he was giving an interview. or I would have never had it. I have that in writing. Moving on. It's the only one in the world, period. There's a lot of C10s. This is the only one like this one. And it's perfect, virtually in every way. And I said, we have every piece to put it back like day one if we wanted to. I'll take it. I was stunned. You got to keep in mind, a truck that I bought for $28,000, and I put a really nice lowering kit and a $5,000 set of wheels on, sold for more than I paid for my first house. And that, kids, is why I say invest in classics. I see pictures of it pop up on Instagram from time to time, and it's sitting in his garage. And you keep in mind, this guy's doing okay. It didn't bankrupt or anything. Eric Church is his next door neighbor, so he's all right. He's not, living in a single wide or anything. And I'll be honest with you, the dime piece is living a sheltered life in his garage now, and he drives it and he enjoys it. It kind of makes me smile. You know what I mean? Because like someone's actually enjoying it instead of just sitting there collecting dust. Now I've got room for more cars to collect dust. The thing is, for a guy that's been selling cars in his entire life, I didn't realize it till after it was done. That's the most profit I ever made on a vehicle. But yeah, sitting in his garage next to, he's got some kind of Porsche, whatever, GT, whatever it is, and a 68 Cadillac convertible. And, he's got a 55 Chevrolet bar in his garage. I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, and that it's still got the Rabbit's used car sticker, the VINwiki stickers in the back glass and everything. He hasn't changed anything. Selling a car like that you've had for so long, it almost feel like you're selling one of your kids. Because it's part of you. Everybody knows. I still get people, hey, how's the dime piece doing? I'm like, that's the new owner. But doing great. But you don't want to be that guy that lets cars sit. And, unfortunately, I drive what I sell, my next new car, and it gets shuffled to the back. And I ain't gonna say it gets forgotten about, but it's just sitting in the back. And I'll be honest with you, it needs to be driven. It needs to be enjoyed. I mean, it's a gorgeous truck. It needs to be shared with the world or driven around, and enjoyed it. And that's what this guy does with it. And I'll be honest with you, he's not doing any more damage driving it twice a week than I did let it sit for months and months and months and months at a time. And hey, who knows? I may even end up with it back. Keep in mind, I've owned this truck for 8 years and probably put 2,500 miles on it. And the new owner has probably put 2,500 miles on it in the first 3 months he owned it. That's what you're supposed to do with a collector car, is enjoy it. You don't want to be a hot rod hypocrite.
We'd like to thank the Ticket Clinic for supporting VINwiki this month. When you get a ticket, no matter where it happens, you're risking points on your license, costly fines, insurance premium increases, and risks of suspension or jail time. So it's more important than ever to have great representation. The Ticket Clinic is a nationwide law firm that can help you fight a ticket no matter where you get it. It's easier than ever to start a relationship with them. You'll just take your ticket, snap a picture of it, and text that picture to 305-305. You can also reach them at the link in the description below to thank them for their support of VINwiki and fight your ticket with the Ticket Clinic.